His Excellency Most Reverend Valerian M, the Archbishop of Onitsha and Metropolitan of Onitsha Ecclesiastical Province, was ordained priest on July 11, 1981. Years after, he was appointed the Coadjutor Archbishop of Onitsha on November 28, 2001. He was later consecrated the Coadjutor Archbishop of Onitsha on February 9, 2002. He later became Archbishop and Metropolitan of Onitsha Ecclesiastical Province on September 1, 2003. Prior to his assumption of office, Archdiocese of Onitsha was in a stable state, yet yearns for development in all its facets, vis-a-vis, spiritually, structurally, physically, and otherwise. In order to address this situation, Archbishop Val embarked on transformation agenda that gave the Basilica a facelift. Through his total commitment and efforts, Holy Trinity Cathedral was raised to the status of a basilica, and by that development, the cathedral became the first and only basilica in Nigeria. Within a short period in office, several uncompleted projects outstanding for so many years in the basilica environment were completed, commissioned, and put to use. A notable example is the gigantic Shanahan Pole. Archbishop Val took them one after the other and brought them on the hill. Today, the basilica holds its ground, strong and serene, overlooking a clean, orderly and attractive courtyard, inviting and ready to welcome her devoted pilgrims and all those who only come to see the sight. No wonder the basilica has now become an attractive pilgrimage center where pilgrims from far and wide gather for prayers and sightseeing. The 12 giant statues bearing the images of the 12 apostles of Christ standing at the very entrance to the cathedral not only beautifies the church but makes the basilica a resemblance to one of the beautiful church edifices adorning the Vatican City. In his bid to practically demonstrate his motto, that they may have life and have it in full, John 10:10, Archbishop Val initiated other life-giving projects within Onitsha Archdiocese and beyond. In the education sector, Archbishop Valerian has made a history. He was among the few that pressurized the Anambra State government into returning mission schools to their owners during the time of former Governor Obi's administration. He personally championed the cause and never relented in the struggle until success was achieved. Before returning schools to the mission, almost all the secondary schools in the state were in a state of decay, including the ones originally owned by the church. Most of the schools returned to the Onitsha Archdiocese were in a bad state. A typical example was St. Joseph's Special Science and Seminary School, Okeke. At the time of handover, the school was nothing to write home about. Only 7 students were found in the entire school. More than half of the school compound has been taken over by thick forest. Most of the classroom structures had collapsed, while the few standing ones were at the verge of collapse. The story was the same at St. John's Technical College, Alo, as at the time of handover, about 9 students were spotted in the entire school, while majority of the school buildings were dilapidated. Large portions of the school had since been taken over by forest. Few teachers were seen hanging around, probably to ensure their monthly salary is paid. This was exactly the situation of things when the education-friendly Archbishop took over the schools. Without further delay, he swung into action and began rebuilding schools. He also employed teachers to augment the few number of teachers met at the time of handover. From time to time, he pays pastoral visits to these schools so as to assess the extent of progress and the new challenges faced by the schools. Christ the King College, Onitsha, is now wearing a new look. Not just that the old structures have been renovated, but new ones were erected. With the return of schools to missions, CKC has regained its position in academic excellence. With these new looks, it does not mean that Christ the King College, CKC, has arrived, as there are more work to be done. Queen of the Rosary College, QRC, Onitsha, which is one of the oldest schools in the metropole, is also wearing a new look thanks to Archbishop Val's proactive leadership. The school recently celebrated its 75 years anniversary of existence. Regina Pass's Model Secondary School was born from Social Center, and today, with the support of the Archbishop, gigantic structures have been erected and commissioned at the school. Quality teachers are on hand to impact quality education on the students, and for this, the students now record good grades in all their external examinations. Recently, the school made the entire continent proud by winning the just concluded Technovation program held in San Francisco, United States of America. Over 115 countries participated in the competition, but only 12 teams from all over the world were selected as finalists. The students won the challenge with a mobile application called the FD Detector, which they developed to help tackle the challenge of fake pharmaceutical products in Nigeria and beyond. They also applied the robotics and coding insights in solving existential problems with technology. St. Joseph's Special and Science Seminary is now a fully fledged college with over 1,000 population against the 7 students found at the time of handover. Many new structures have been erected.
Before the handover, which was done between 2009 and 2010, that one was not yet in the country. The school was just a shadow of itself. So this place was just a dumping ground for corpses by the SARS people and the other security agencies. Nobody lives around this place. The whole of this place is filled with forest. It was a thick forest. Most of the old buildings that we abandoned, you had big trees going under them from the cemented area. So even these gates, the fence, they were not there. From this very particular gate, you will need machete in order to create your path to enter the school. The intention of the Archbishop then, for the secondary, was to document the history of those who had attended this school as a secondary school, so that their names will not be wiped away. And in another form, to provide forum for many people who want to go to seminary and receive seminary information. I will not have that opportunity because of Oharu Seminary size. So Oharu Seminary cannot accommodate more than it accommodates presently. So, but many people, not all those who went to seminary become priests. So Archbishop wanted to provide opportunity for many people who want to receive seminary formation to also receive it, even if they don't become priests at the end. So these are the ideas behind the creation of the school.
St. John's College, Alo, has bounced back to its former glory. The lost image has been restored by Archbishop Val. Now, a good number of new structures are in place, while the old ones are either pulled down or reconstructed. The environment is now very conducive for learning, while the population has grown to over 1,000 against 9 students found there 5 years ago. St. Anthony's Secondary School, Mpo, has also witnessed great transformation as a result of the conducive learning environment coupled with the sound teachers. Students of the school are winning laurels regularly at internal and external academic competitions. Today, the school is truly known for her high standards of education. Archbishop Val has also saved St. Kizito's Secondary School, Umudioka, from the disaster facing it shortly after handover of schools. Through the sponsorship of the working Archbishop, new classroom structures have been constructed while the old ones have been reconstructed and renovated. The students of the college are currently enjoying quality facilities that make learning easier. Outside secondary schools, Archbishop Val has reached out to the tertiary institutions in Anambra State. As a compassionate chief shepherd, he observed the pains and sufferings endured by students of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, in the area of accommodation. The plight of these students compelled him into building world-class hostels project, Youth Village, located at Amansi in Awka. The Youth Village, no doubt, has greatly wiped the tears of students who passed through several traumas in search of a befitting accommodation. Before the existence of Youth Village, students were exposed to so many challenges in the various places they live. Some do not have reading tables. Some female students became rape victims because of the insecurity of the places they were offered accommodations. Male students from responsible families ended up in the hands of cultists and bad gangs because of the nature of the places they found accommodation. At that era, the university did not have immediate answers to the accommodation problem. Archbishop Val later became the Messiah the students were waiting for, who eventually liberated them from the agony of accommodation. Today, Youth Village hostels provide basic amenities such as regular electricity, pipe-borne water that run in the rooms, adequate security, serene learning environment, among other things. In order to make the security of the place what it should be, Archbishop Val built a police post right inside the Youth Village. The spiritual growth of the students who are opportune to live inside the Youth Village is guaranteed because Archbishop Val, being a chief shepherd, established a Catholic chaplaincy where a resident chaplain lives and attends to the spiritual needs of the students. Youth Village has also big buses that take the students to school and bring them back every day after lectures. One may not be far from the truth when describing Youth Village as paradise on earth, where students can stay and gain the best of knowledge and as well graduate with higher grades. The Holy Family Youth Village has 7 gigantic structures and houses more than 1,008 students, including staff. However, this project was possible owing to the responses and contributions of well-meaning Nigerians, both the rich and the poor, who gathered to save our situation in the tertiary accommodation issues in the first Onitsha Archdiocesan Stakeholders Forum in 2008.
Most Reverend Okeke, he has a reason for establishing this place. And the reason actually goes back to his experience when he was the rector of Bigad Memorial Seminary, Enugu. According to the story he told me, he traveled to Nsukka to visit one of his relations, one of his nieces, and he was shocked to the marrows to see that a room meant for 4 persons were occupied by 8 students. So he started conceiving the possibility of establishing a place that would give a very conducive atmosphere for studies and also be a kind of a formative place to help the young people know that to live in a good place is something worth doing, so that when they are very well formed, they will now go into the society to also influence the society, especially Nigeria and the world over. And so he was trying to see if he could contact some bishops to get something done about it, and as luck and coincidence would have it, he was eventually appointed the Archbishop of Onitsha. He now said he didn't need any permission again to do what he wanted to do. And so he now started convincing the priests of the Archdiocese of Onitsha about his plan, his vision. Some people bought it just like every other dream. Some opposed it. But being the achiever, the type of person he is, he didn't give up. Eventually, with the help of God, this place has come to stand.
The organization, the level of organization here, it has helped me in my studies. Like when I'm in school with the others, there's a difference. I get to follow things sequentially. I know, like I follow rules, and of course, trust me, it helps a lot. Also, of course, with the serene environment, you can read at all times. Okay, and also you meet very wonderful people here. People who can help you when you're not academically buoyant enough. You have people around who are always ready to help you. So, apart from the serenity and the organization, here you've got very good people who can help you whenever you have a problem.
It's been amazing from the beginning to the end. Like I'm sure I'm not living the same way I came. I've been improved on all aspects, even extracurricular activities that I never thought that I'll be able to do at some point. Like right now, I can proudly say that to an extent I'm that good. Like both musically, spiritually, academically, I know I've grown in all ramifications. So the hostel has been, very helpful in that aspect.
Well, the environment is conducive because compared to the lodges outside, because I've been to other lodges, we have, when you go to other lodges, first of all, you are being disturbed by noise. You may be in your room and other inmates of the lodge, they are playing music in highest volume or making some noise hindering your studies. You also have the issues of pollution. Pollution from waste products, but here our waste products are being managed effectively. There's not been a case when we had any foul odor, or when we came and we saw that we were perceiving the smell of waste products. It's being processed at a very, very far distance. Also, a case of cigarettes, alcoholism, and all these things. These are problems being faced by lodges outside that stay within the compass of music. But I don't think I've experienced even a slight of any of these things in the family. No smoke, no activity, no fighting. It's just a family, and I'm glad to be here.
It is amazing to note that Archbishop Val's interest in promoting education in Anambra State does not end in building only structures. He has since established a scholarship scheme that is currently giving many students who performed well in their external examinations and even in the internal examination the opportunity to study for free in any university of their choice in Nigeria. Most of the students on this scheme are usually selected via Archbishop Valerian Okeke Science Competition, AVOSCO, a body that is used to discover the most serious and talented students. He made a promise that whoever passes his or her WAEC with 9 A's automatically bags his university scholarship. AVOSCO school managers, teachers, and the schools that produced best performing students in every academic session take home different categories of awards annually. In essence, Archbishop Val's dream for restoring high standards of education through these outstanding strategies and efforts is not only for the good of the church, but for the state, since such students produced by the mission schools are doing Anambra State proud via their outstanding performances. It will be recalled that for the past years, after the return of the schools to the missions, Anambra State has produced students who emerged the best in external examinations such as WAEC, NECO, JAM, National Common Entrance Examinations, etc. Even teachers in Anambra schools do smile home with awards at every national academic competition. These developments may not be unconnected with Archbishop Val's giant feats in promoting education. In addition to this, Archbishop Val is now working on the proposed Shanahan University of Science and Technology in order to make university education affordable in Nigeria. It is expected that at the completion, undergraduates who have labored so hard in seeking admission will have great opportunity to study in the new university. It will also create more jobs for Nigeria at large. Here is what Professor Patutomi said about the proposed Shanahan University, and I quote, "My vision of Shanahan University is of an applied science and technology institution that transforms the economies of the regions around it and moves a generation from trading to production, attracting capital from far and near, which facilitates knowledge acquired in the institution being deployed to produce material gain in ways that edify and elevate the dignity of the human person proximate to the institution."
Archbishop Val Okeke is an enigma. His passion for education is unparalleled. Honestly, I speak this thing with every sense of responsibility. As Honorable Commissioner for Education in Anambra State, I can testify that this is one man that has passion for education. This is one man that has invested so much in education. This is one man that has shown in so many ways that he has love for children, and he desires that our children get the best in education. I mean, if you talk about the number of priests he's sending in, to go and study education, not just to study, but to study and, read education as a course, you will see that he is a man preparing really for the future. If you think about the investment he has made, the scholarship he has given, the prizes he has given, the quizzes he has organized, the commendations he has given to the students, you see one man that has passion for education. If you think about how he funds, children in the boarding houses, giving them bags of rice, cows, to sustain them in school, you think of a man that has passion for education. If you look at how he fights examination malpractice, this is where actually we are in alliance. Our passionate passion, to have what you call value-based education. Just like Chief Dr. Willie Obiano, asked me to give credible education to the state, education that is credible. So I see Archbishop Val as a partner in this fight against examination malpractice. He has talked to his priests, he has preached this thing in every forum, he has made it, clear that we have zero tolerance for, examination malpractice of all kinds.
If we don't do anything, our teenage youth will be there. They'll be coming out, they won't get admission into universities, and they will remain second-class citizens. We can do something for ourselves, because that's a lack, it's a gap, and our youth need that. They need to be educated, and that's why the idea of Shanahan University comes very handy, and indeed it's an idea that is long overdue. So what the Archbishop is proposing is that we provide opportunity for our youth to improve themselves and be ready to compete in the market that's Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. But I think at this point we don't really have any opportunity, any chance than to sit down and think with that bishop and support that bishop to get through.
In the health sector, Archbishop Val has transformed and equipped hospitals owned by Onitsha Archdiocese. In Anambra State today, one of the best hospitals is St. Charles Borromeo Hospital, Onitsha, owned by the Archdiocese. Prior to Archbishop Val's assumption of office, the hospital was dwindling. Today, the case is different. The hospital has been revived and upgraded to the status of a teaching hospital. Now, medical students enroll to do part of their studies at the hospital. Recently, gigantic structures built at the hospital for academic purposes and for provision of healthcare services were commissioned. Next to this is the Holy Rosary Specialist Hospital and Maternity, Waterside, Onitsha. The hospital is actually setting the pace in certain areas in healthcare provision. Recently, the hospital was upgraded and re-equipped with sophisticated health facilities such as new ultramodern maternity complex, new accident and emergency unit, new mammography unit for breast cancer screening, among other units. Archbishop Val has also made arrangements for foreign medical experts that will be visiting the hospital from time to time. It is expected that by the new facilities in the hospital, one may not have the need for overseas treatment or checkups, especially in the areas the units can take care of. The proximity of the hospital to the cathedral and the Onitsha main market offers great opportunity to faithful and traders in the case of emergency. In other words, the hospital was strategically located. Other mission hospitals such as Our Lady of Fatima Hospital, Okeke, St. Martin's Hospital, Ugwaba, Immaculate Heart Hospital and Maternity Aguleri are not left out in the transformation agenda of the Archbishop. He has also initiated and started the construction of St. Joseph Hospital and Maternity, Ifitogwari. The transformation breeze of the Archbishop was also noticed at Immaculate Heart Hospital, Umudioka, which has been renovated and re-equipped by the prelate. These hospitals are not just functional, but well equipped with sound medical personnel.
I think I have every reason to say that things started changing massively with the coming on board of the Archbishop of Onitsha, Most Reverend Valerian M, Okeke, as the Archbishop and the Metropolitan of Onitsha Ecclesiastical Province. He brought in what I may call a kind of positive revolution with regard to how healthcare facilities are managed in Onitsha Archdiocese. By that I mean posting priests to hospitals in Onitsha Archdiocese, not just posting them, but sending them to do specialized program for them to be fully empowered to manage healthcare facilities. As I'm speaking to you right now, about 6 priests from Onitsha Archdiocese have been trained in Nigeria. They did their healthcare management program, healthcare administration and policy at UNIBEN. They did it up to master's level. In my own case, I did my own healthcare management and administration program, that is in the United States of America, precisely in New York. And everything that is happening within the healthcare directorate of Onitsha Archdiocese, in one way or the other, have strong connection with what His Grace the Archbishop chose as his motto when he was ordained the Archbishop, the co-adjutor Archbishop of Onitsha. By that I mean that they may have life and have it abundantly. The Gospel of St. John, chapter 10, verse 10.
In his bid to promote an egalitarian society where everyone, both old and young, will have equal right and opportunity to air their views and their problems, Archbishop Val built International Media Center at 33 Onitsha, where one of the best radio stations in the country, named Radio Sapientia, was established. Today, Radio Sapientia is giving the audience daily beautiful opportunity to say their minds on issues at the stake via the phone-in program known as Sapientia Express. Through the transformation programs of Radio Sapientia, many hidden crimes have been exposed, while the audience gets to having 1 or 2 of their problems solved, and as well give job to the unemployed. Today, Radio Sapientia has over 40 staff that are well paid and are living big. Recently, the radio station was rated the best in the Southeast by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC. Radio Sapientia also streams live, making it possible to be heard from all parts of the globe. Currently, work on the establishment of the television part of the center is at the advanced stage. In other words, Sapientia Television will soon take off operation. Being a compassionate prelate who has great love for those in the prison, Archbishop Val many years ago started prison apostolate. Every year he celebrates his birthday, Christmas and Easter inside Onitsha prisons. Such days are usually memorable and sweet for the inmates as the Archbishop comes bearing delicious meals and drinks for them through his regular visits to Onitsha prisons. Archbishop Val has transformed the prison. He is currently building a skills acquisition center inside the prison so that inmates will learn skills that will help them fare better at the time of regaining their freedom. To better the conditions of the inmates, Archbishop Val sunk boreholes at the prison.
With the renovation of the cells initiated by the Archbishop, we can freely walk inside the cells and enjoy free air. He renovated the cells, put tiles on the floor, changed their water system. Okay, and apart from there, he also sunk borehole for them. Though he did the first one, collapsed, the second one, even the fourth one. It was the fifth one that they are enjoying today, and it is a very clean water. Not only the inmates, but also people living around. And he also erected an overhead tank that can serve the inmates and also the outsiders. That apart, the latest one, we are talking about the latest one, is where we are standing now, the ultra-modern mega scale acquisition center. Of course, we are seeing it right away, which will cost not less than 30 million. We are putting a lot, the Archbishop are putting a lot, thanks to him, and the aim of him erecting this skill acquisition center is no other than to make for the betterment of the inmates, so that when they come out, they will become more civil in the society.
The Big Father has also installed televisions for the inmates and pays for their subscriptions at all times to enable them watch programs on cable network. He made their room conducive by tiling and painting the rooms. To ease the hot weather, the prelate mounted electric fans in the prison rooms. Today, 75% of the visitors trooping in at the Onitsha prisons daily were greatly inspired by the Archbishop Okeke prison apostolate.
Without Archbishop Okeke, I don't think that we will have gained the tremendous success we've gained in terms of renovation of Onitsha prisons. He is the bedrock, and he is the man behind the great success of the renovation in that Onitsha. Onitsha prison receives him 3 times in a year. Which of the parishes under this archdiocese can receive an archbishop 3 times in a year? Will he pay visits to? So it is the love he has for the inmates that is now extended to make sure that they are well taken care of. Anytime is coming, it comes with food, feeding material, food, assorted types of food you can imagine. So I think he's a man with vision, and he has all it takes to lead.
Notwithstanding all these strides, Archbishop Val is never found wanting in the discharge of his primary assignment as the chief shepherd. He goes out every Sunday on a pastoral visit to the parishes where he engages his ever-increasing flock one-on-one. His life-transforming homilies is second to none. He never toys or jokes with the condition of his priests. The elderly ones are taken good care of, while the sick ones get the best of attentions an only son will get from his biological father. With all these developmental and humanitarian services, one is wont to say that Archbishop Valerian has touched more lives through actions rather than words and won souls for Christ.